Yo, what up, YouTube? So it looks like the developer notes just dropped. Instantly decided that we wanted to talk about this. This is going to be talking about the official message and news regarding the recent matters and the current meta and the balance of the game. So it does look like, they are listening to the KR players. I got a little bit into it yesterday on Reddit. Got called a xenophobe, classic Reddit. As always, reminded me why I don't go to that cesspool of a website typically. But if you're new here, Shogun, what's going on? Subscribe, like if you like this, comment down below, let me know what you think. But we're going to get into this. So, hello heirs, this is Epic 7. Just Epic 7 in general. We would like to notify our players of our official message and news regarding the recent matters about the current meta and the balance of the game. First, we deeply apologize for the late notice and for causing concern among our players regarding gameplay. Before we address the direction of the future balance adjustments, we would like to inform you about the last balance adjustments. Since the release of Epic 7, we have been making countless attempts to make the heroes properly balanced with our intention to allow more heroes loved by our players to have their roles on the battlefield. However, our own deficiencies have caused the recent situation, and we will do our best to provide you with a more enjoyable and pleasant performance balance as soon as possible. Okay. We have been receiving common opinions from many players about the current meta, and our thoughts about it are not much different. The most important goal and balance adjustment for us is to improve the utilization of heroes and artifacts based on data. We didn't want to put our players in a situation where they must use heroes with the highest stats after putting so much effort and time into raising and improving heroes and artifacts that they liked. In particular, the voices of players who wish to use certain 5-star Moonlight heroes, which are relatively more difficult to obtain, were something that we could not neglect, and we will not deny that we put a priority on improving the utilization of 5-star Moonlight heroes in World Arena over those of the Covenant heroes. However, the high difficulty of acquiring 5-star Moonlight heroes and the long Mystic Summon rotation cycle, the balance adjustments in the past only created an imbalance to benefit between a small number of players who had such heroes and players who did not. I don't know how I don't typically know how I feel about that, but anyways, in addition, giving new heroes high stats and abilities equivalent to the dominating heroes that was another major reason that worsened the current issue. We aim to have more diverse heroes get their roles in Arena, Guild Wars, and World Arena. Our balance team has been aiming to curb power creep since its launch, maintaining the value of heroes and equipment of players as much as possible to provide an environment where players can enjoy Epic 7 for a long period of time. However, this resulted in an issue where there was not much change in the meta for PvP, and battle flows were becoming stale. We have been trying to alter the meta. Hold on, let me turn this down. This music is a little bit loud right here. We have been trying to alter the meta by applying changes through periodic balance adjustments. The meta last summer, where Covenant heroes had dis/advantages over each other, can be an example. However, our decision of trying to move the Moonlight heroes that were less used to the center of the meta without sufficient consideration or improvement in the acquisition of Moonlight heroes is what we regret the most. Not only because we have failed to keep the balance of the heroes that we had carefully improved and managed, but mainly because we have greatly undermined the trust of our players who were always patient and supportive. That's not necessarily true. The KR players have never been patient or supportive. As a matter of fact, they are probably some of the most toxic gamers in the Epic 7 community. Literally the worst. Our intentions moving forward are partially reflected in this February balance adjustment. In the future, we will not improve at 5-star Moonlight heroes that are not used as much unless we confirm that it is a way to that will improve the current game state. They really need an English proofreader, honestly. Not that I can speak English very well either. But anyways, we will do our best to prevent certain heroes from becoming excessively powerful, even if it is necessary to create new changes in the meta. Also, to indirectly curb the power of some Moonlight heroes, we will try to improve the Covenant heroes and specialty change heroes further. I do like that, honestly. If these changes do not produce enough results to satisfy our players, we are also considering readjusting the stats and effects of current class signs and exclusive equipments. However, we will prioritize on creating positive changes in the meta by causing the least inconvenience as possible to players through balance adjustment and by adding exclusive equipments and specialty change heroes. We haven't had a specialty change in a while. Kind of sad, as changes in class signs and exclusive equipments may affect content other than PvP, where players have their heroes and equipment specifically equipped. That really doesn't matter at all. A one-shot team, they'll just adjust and find another one-shot team. This process may take more time, but we would appreciate our players understanding that we are preparing changes as carefully as possible, because modifying the current structure significantly or intervening directly by nerfing specific heroes could lead to greater issues. I don't know how I feel about that one. I do think that nerfing would be perfectly fine, as it just rip the band-aid off, start nerfs, just tell people to suck it up, you don't get a selector. In addition, we will make greater efforts to provide a more enjoyable game through the following systematic adjustments and to further positively affect the performance balance between heroes. Improvements on equipment. Okay, this is going to be interesting right here. Whoa. Okay, equipment sets are a great tool to grant strategic values to heroes. Therefore, we will improve the unique effects of equipment sets to expand the potential strategic value of heroes that are not in the center of the current mainstream meta. For example, injury set on Belian and penetration set on other heroes have been reassessed by players, and the usage rates of them have been increased. Refer to the below. Okay, the ratio of wearing equipment. Okay, revenge. Nobody's wearing revenge. It's interesting that, like, speed has stayed pretty much the same. 55, 57, 58, 56, 54 dipped a little bit right here. Crit has been less seen. Oh, so this is 20. Okay, yeah. Balance adjustment on equipment sets will widen the selection of sets, allowing players to discover new value for heroes. And along with continuous balance adjustments, the heroes will eventually make the current mainstream meta far more flexible. I don't think so, because people are still going to use speed. You can't really buff any of the 4-piece sets to the point where people aren't going to just be like, yes, speed or counter set. That's pretty much it. Yeah. A balance adjustment on equipment sets. We will improve the current equipment, something that has a large role in the balance of PvP. In order to expand synergy with the heroes, we once again will closely evaluate the efficiency of the most used equipment set before planning improvements, so that we can gradually form a system where equipment sets are advantageous and disadvantageous to each other. As the current equipment system will be addressed simultaneously with other systems, it would be very challenging for us to resolve issues regarding meta in a short period of time. Yeah, it's kind of understandable. You can't just shift things like instantaneously. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people really don't understand. They go, we want this now. And when they go, okay, well, just give us some time, right? We're trying to shift the full fundamentals of the game. And they're like, no, we need this now. Anyways, as the current equipment system will be addressed simultaneously with other systems, it would be very challenging for us to resolve the issues. Yes, nevertheless, we will do our best to implement gradual improvements in the game as soon as possible. New equipment sets. All right. We are concerned, as much as many of our players are, that making adjustments to the current equipment sets would not be enough to make changes in performance balance in PvP. So we will add new equipment sets to give more selection to player. It's going to be evasion set. I can't wait. New equipment sets will be obtainable from hunts that are currently available, with no new hunts that will be released. This is garbage. This is absolute trash. Please do not do this. Literally do not do this. This is really, really bad. this is the worst idea that you could possibly do, because as it is, Banshee 13, right? You have 4 sets. You have destruction, you have resist, you have life steal, and you have counter set. Nobody cares about destruction. Nobody cares about destruction. Well, very few people care about resist, and most people want life steal or counter set, right? When you have 4 sets, if you add a 5th set in there, that's terrible, because if you're crafting, if you're farming, you're going to get that set, and it's not going to be a set that you want. As a matter of fact, I honestly think that you should be able to target a specific set. If you're crafting, you should be able to target specific sets. If they add more sets in, this is going to be terrible, literal garbage. Do not do this. Do not do this. For example, Golem Hunt, that currently drops materials for 3 sets, would be changed to drop materials for a new equipment set as well, so the players will be able to obtain the parts without putting in additional effort, such as forming a new team to clear a hunt. As the drop rates for the current sets will relatively decrease with the changes, we're also planning to introduce new systems to facilitate players' acquisitions of equipment sets. They would have to do what I mentioned, being able to target specific sets, and that'll probably add another form of currency that you'll have to farm, which it'll drop sporadically while you're farming whatever. I do not like this. We will do our best to carefully review all aforementioned changes to prevent huge impact on the current system and introduce them to our players as soon as possible. Okay, improvements and additions to the PvP system. Okay. Improvements to World Arena. For the next regular season pre-ban in World Arena, we have 2 pre-bans. We already talked about this, as well as the expanded pre-ban. The Battle Frenzy effect will also be continuously reviewed and adjusted. Such improvements will enable us to quickly respond to the meta and dominate heroes. For example, if DPS tank meta is excessively dominating, Battle Frenzy effects will be adjusted to weaken the predominant meta in the short term. I actually kind of like this, and this is something that we talked about, we've touched upon like in the past through the podcast and stuff like that, is that having a rotating frenzy effect would be interesting, and it would change up the meta each season. I think that would be a really, really good idea. New mode, E7 World Cup mode, will be added. This mode features an accumulated hero ban system where pre-banned heroes in each round cannot be used throughout the match, and each match is a best of 3 or best of 5 depending on the league. Now, this is just going to kill normal arena, honestly, unless there's like a set limit of what's coming in every day, or how many times you can do this in a day. I think this will literally kill regular World Arena. And this is something we've talked about in the past too. Adding in different modes and different leagues will kill your main league, or it'll be a completely wasted, like useless league that nobody will play. You split your player base by doing this. I don't think that this is really, really very good. Arena 3 team versus 3 team mode. This new mode is designed to be more casual than World Arena, but more challenging than regular Arena. In this new mode, each player forms 3 offending teams and battles against 3 defending teams. 3 teams versus 3 teams mode in Arena also requires players to study and discover new hero combinations using a great number of heroes. People are going to complain already because they're going to be like, I don't have that many units geared, but I'm built, like I'm a new player. I don't know, man. It is what it is. I don't think that this is going to be a big deal unless it comes out with like a new currency or something along those lines. I really already don't care about Arena in the first place. But anyways, we find this to be good motivation for players to discover more various meta in the long term, and after multiple steps of evaluation, we are positive that this new mode will serve as an alternative of current Arena and World Arena. I think this will be good for testing Guild Wars teams, honestly. I think it'll be good for testing Guild Wars teams. Ultimately, by introducing new PvP modes, as well as the additional adjustments, we're aiming to raise the value of heroes when forming teams. Short-term system improvements for diversifying heroes in the meta, medium-term heroes and equipment set balance adjustment, long-term optimized PvP environment. Interesting. as well as the objectives above. We are also preparing a major update for the second quarter, starting with the recent improvements on summoning Moonlight heroes. We are planning to introduce changes that players may obtain and raise heroes and artifacts more easily, and obtain equipment with high stats enough for PvP battle faster. Interesting. I want to see what they have to talk about there. Further details regarding the improvements will be announced with the major update notice for the second quarter, along with the update with other updates, news to better the gaming experience. Okay. These are proposed adjustments and improvements we have now. Once again, we would like to express our most sincere apology for the current matters being discussed in the community regarding balance, and we will do our best to listen and carefully review your opinions to provide a better gaming environment. Like, so here's, I think that this is good. I think overall that this is really good. I think that it came, we could have talked about this a while ago. They're losing a lot of their players, their content creators, and I don't know that this is going to be able to bring it back. It sucks that it took the Korean player base like flipping out again to get Smilegate to actually address this. I think that Smilegate really needs to look at the overall player base instead of just their home player base. It feels a little rough when it almost feels like Global's opinions really doesn't matter. And I think that is something that I'd like to see them address, honestly, because it does seem like the KR team just doesn't care and doesn't interact at all with Global. We have our community managers, but at the same time, they really don't have a lot of sway or power. Very just canned responses, stuff like that. I mean, it is good that they're addressing this, and I think that these are good steps. We'll see how it works out. Obviously I'm going to be paying attention quite a bit to this. I think it's interesting that 12% use hit set, but that's just because so much wyvern farming, you have hit sets that have just OP stats on them. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Do you think this is good? Do you think it's going to help? Do you trust that they're going to be doing any of this? And if you guys did like this video, think about subscribing. I appreciate it. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy, homies. Peace.